Hello and welcome. It's me, Percitas, and this is Percitas Paradox. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you can see, we're in a new little atmosphere. I'm in another part of my house. Some things are going on back in my office, and I just wanted to make sure that I got a video out today. So I'm shooting at a different time of the day and all. We're just making sure that we are on task because I told you I would do better, and I am going to do better. So if you are new to this channel, thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate you, your time, effort, and energy. And if you are an OG, you already know the deal is 2020. We're super excited. We are on track to be the biggest, baddest, greatest people that we could ever possibly be. And you know what, fam? That is what I am looking forward to. So you being my tribe, I am looking forward to just the abundance of what I know that this lovely year is going to bring forth. Granted, we're starting off a little wishy-washy. We have a lot of issues going on with our second wave of whatever this virus that we're calling COVID or Florona or Omicron or whatever it is called. But I want to wish everyone who is suffering from it well wishes, as well as telling everyone else to make sure that you are as safe as possible. Why? Because you just want to be safe. Believe it or not, you just want to be safe. So after all that's being said, what do I want to talk about today? The question of the day is, are you sharing? And are you caring about sharing? Might sound funny. I always love that cliche, sharing is caring. But I realize they actually break up. They're actually two different entities within themselves. Sharing and caring can be both beneficial and actually detrimental to people's successes, as well as your relational interactions with each other. And you may say, well, what do you mean, Percitas? Well, truthfully, last year, I really had an epiphany about a lot of things going on in my personal life and just, again, some expectations that I keep finding that are not beneficial to neither myself nor the person that I am trying to put under an expectational place to be. And with that being said, I'm just understanding that a lot of us are not discussing how we're really feeling because we're worried about harming the other person. Let's just say it like that. Or putting a bad taste in someone's mouths about what their perspective is of you. Or just simply trying to save someone's feelings. And what I mean by that is, how many times have you really thought that you should share something about a situation or a circumstance that is transacted between you and an individual, but you don't? You may call it the upper road or the higher road, upper room. I'm sorry, I just had to do it because that came to my mind. But anyway, you may call it the higher road. You may call it the bigger person. But how many times have you found yourself just not saying something in order to avoid some type of a conflict? That's the kind of sharing that I'm talking about. In this day and age, truthfully, I'm starting to believe that truth is really the foundation of everything, even when it's uncomfortable, even with the idea that someone might be upset with what your actual words are. Even if sharing your true emotions or feelings or attributes or whatever, failure, successes with a person could actually put you in harm's way, I'm going to say that I think it's better to some degree to actually put it on the table than to not. Because I don't know about you, I've tried that whole idea of I'm going to not say something because, I just don't want to upset someone or harm them with my truth. But I started to realize last year the least amount of troubles I had with individuals are people who I actually just spoke the brutal truth to. No fluff, no glam, just the truth. The individuals that I tried to really kind of coax them into the conversations, it seemed to have gotten distorted even more so with that because of just trying to navigate how to not actually put them in a place where they feel uncomfortable did to me. Notice how I said that. So it's not a position of always feeling that you're worried about the individual that you're talking to or the circumstance that you're in. I'm really, 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 really starting to understand it's about really being conscious of just myself and my mental health and my self-idea of myself, my descriptions of myself, my quiet time with myself, the words that I'm saying to myself. And that might seem, a little strange, especially since, I kind of prefaced the question with a sharing is caring kind of motif. Let me just be honest and say, I think the sharing of yourself in its authentic manner is what sharing should actually be. We tend to try to have a perspective about what we think people would want or what we think they want to hear. And I think that's what I'm telling you that I learned really tough in 2021 is that it's just better to literally keep going and save your peace. And make sure that you understand that it's not being rude and it's not being disrespectful or any of the sorts to actually speak your truth. It's only those things if you don't understand that the person should be seeking peace within, and that truth is what will give them that peace. I then preface that to say the idea of caring within that aspect, to make sharing caring, would be you care about yourself and yourself's ideas first. I'm not telling you not to care about people, because God knows if you really know me, this is kind of a loosely abbreviated friendship we have on the internet, because I can really spin stories however I want to spin them and vice versa, right? Because we really don't spend enough hours with each other to actually be able to say that we have relationships. The average person doesn't realize it takes 5,000 hours for you to become an acquaintance. 5,000 hours with each other. Over 20,000 hours to actually be in a position of being, let's just say, close. That's not even a best friend. That would just be kind of like someone that you would feel a little, open to give just that much more about your personal life. So just imagine what it sounds like to call each other friends as a statement of endearment on most social platforms, when truthfully, we are just simply subscribing to each other. Subscribers would probably be the best definition of what this transaction is that we have in this digital media format. So in saying that, to care about yourself first is key, because there's always going to be a perspective of individuals giving you a negative or giving you something that is less beneficial to your capacity to believe in yourself, right? And I'm not telling you that, people aren't open to their opinions. I think where it becomes a little tricky is that the caring to give someone your point of view when it's not asked for can get there. And because we typically dynamically speak now in platform forms, meaning text, email, social media platforms and sort, it can get really tricky in just the way that you want to spew your point of view. Even right now, even what I'm telling you, it's just simply my point of view. You don't have to agree, or you don't have to believe what I'm saying. It just becomes the caringness of you loving yourself enough to not try to spew negative to me if you don't agree, because you understand exactly the same way you want to be able to say what you want to say, then you should be allowing someone else to do it. So I'm wondering how many people right now are on any social media platform and understanding that concept. Typically, we have now gotten so acclimated to people being able to say whatever they want to say to individuals that it's now ran rampant, and people are feeling all of the bullying and the cyberbullying and so on and so forth. But what I'm trying to get to today is that we want, especially if you're an adult watching this, you really want to get to a place and a point where you just stop and think about the words coming out of your mouth, even in truth, and you say what you need to say in truth that does not become detrimental to someone else's ideas or perspectives, because you respect theirs as much as you would want them to respect yours. So in saying all of that, I'm hoping today that we're going into 2022 understanding that concept. I'm hoping that we are really grasping the idea that we should actually speak our truth and be firm in our truth, but also care enough to know that even in speaking our truth, we don't want to, or shouldn't have to, let me say that, shouldn't have to hurt someone with that truth. So, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. This is definitely something that I toyed with in regards to talking about, because I know it can get tricky, but that is really what I want you to ponder today. How is your sharing? Is it caring? Or is it just what it is, whatever that is? And typically when I think of whatever it is, it's just a person with absolutely no connection with humanity, or just the idea of balance. So hopefully that's not you. But in saying all of that, if you've made it this far in this video, let me start by saying be so kind as to like, share, comment, and definitely subscribe. We can't go into 2020 subscribed. I mean, come on. What do I need to do? Get nude or something? Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're doing all you need to do to follow me, because I would do it for you. Matter of fact, hit me in the comments if you have a page that you'd like me to follow or some support you'd like for me to do. right? I don't really get that very often, but I would love to see that and love to see what you guys are doing and what you're about and how all that stuff is working that you're taking from this channel to become the great people that you are. Let's share. Let's get connected. So hit me in the comments if you have a page that you'd like me to also, or I should say a channel. I'm thinking about IG, a channel that you'd like for me to follow. But in the meantime and in between times, I'm going to ask you to do 3 things. Live life authentic. Live life authentic. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, have a wonderful weekend. I hope to see you soon. And bye-bye.